This is one community's story of a grassroots effort to take responsibility for the education of its children and to improve their lives. It's a story about empowerment, the transformative power of education, the teacher as the creative force for development and learning, and the Lafourche Education Foundation as a powerful ally in the mission to prepare students for the 21st century world.
I think it's pretty simple that we want to support and invest in public education in Lafourche Parish because we realize that the only way we grow economically, culturally, any way we're going to build a future is through our young kids and through public schools. And every dollar we invest in those kids is gonna pay us much more down the line. And so we just try and be a small part of giving the teachers and the schools the tools they need to give the kids the best education they can give them.
It's unfortunate, but no secret, that government funding for education always seems to be tight. Still, teachers have big ideas and dreams for their students. Often, the passion and commitment are so strong that educators pay for supplies out of their own pockets. And this is where LEF can step in.
The Lafourche Education Foundation basically has offered two types of grants for several years. The Paul Ruth Teacher Grant, which currently is valued at $1,000 for each teacher who applies, and the School-Wide Grant, which is valued at $5,000. We have added what we call the Special Project Grant. Our grants follow a cycle, and sometimes things came up in schools where there was a need, but it was not during the grant cycle. So we created the Special Project Grant, whereby an administrator, a teacher, or anyone in the school system can apply for a grant at any time during the year. And with this type of grant, we have no limit other than the availability of cash from the foundation.
One special project funded by the Lafourche Education Foundation was the brainchild of two very dedicated curriculum specialists. It was a kit of books, supplies, and other materials called the New Teacher Survival Kit, specifically designed to support teachers entering the classroom for the first time.
Well, we know that becoming a teacher is not an easy job. Often, new teachers are faced with, well, here's the key to your classroom and good luck. And we know that it takes a lot more than that. And so just in coming up with an idea, we said, you know what, let's give them the tools they need to have a successful career as a teacher. And so we came up with the idea for the New Teacher Survival Kit.
When we became curriculum specialists, we had a vision to make a difference in as many children's lives as we possibly could. And we felt that the way we could do that was by impacting the classroom through helping new teachers who were entering the profession for the first time. And that was the beginning of what we considered our dream for new teachers in Lafourche Parish.
For new teacher Julie Wallace, the impact was tremendous.
Well, the thing that I've really benefited from were the Debbie Diller books, how to set up your classroom, how to work in small group. Without that book, I don't know what I would have done. It helped me to level my kids. It helped me to pair them to be able to work together. The dry erase boards. It allows me to have them in larger groups to where I can see that they're understanding what I'm teaching. I can, work with two of them to where I can narrow the answers down more without me having to buy that stuff. It costs a lot of money to teach for your first year. But, by them funding all of that, it was just awesome.
Anna Cole is a high school chemistry teacher who knew that her lab was outdated and that ultimately it would affect her students. So she applied for an LEF grant that made a dramatic difference in her ability to teach and in her students' ability to learn.
I knew that it was a matter of time. In science, we're constantly struggling with trying to keep up with technology, and our labs were equipped with traditional triple beam balances in the past, and just to kind of keep up with the advancements in technology, I knew it was a matter of time before I needed to really equip my lab the way that it needed to be equipped. So I thought about getting some electronic balances, which is pretty much out of budget for most typical situations in most school system budgets. Just to know that we're able to take that next step toward offering kids the technology that's available, than to have to utilize old equipment that they probably wouldn't even see in college to begin with, because colleges have since moved on to the new technology that's out there. And it's just wonderful to be able to offer that in a high school setting versus having them to just wait till they get to college to see that kind of equipment.
But there's more to the story than money. Teaching is the profession that creates all others. Even so, teachers don't always get the recognition they deserve. So LEF seeks to change that, and one of the ways it does this is through the Teacher of the Year recognition program. Like anyone who gets called into the principal's office, teacher Nicole Bourne thought she was in trouble. Then she got a surprise from Bayou Boeuf Elementary School principal Ken Robichaud.
So I couldn't figure out why he wanted me sitting right there while he was going to make announcements when he knew I had so much to do. Well, he was announcing that I had gotten the award. So of course I start crying, and I was excited and extremely honored to represent such a wonderful school, because Bayou Boeuf Elementary is a great school. So yeah, super shocked, but very happy. I take my job extremely serious, and this is my passion. My mother is a school teacher, and she has been for 43 years. She retired and she went back to the classroom. And I think I'm gonna be just like her. I just love teaching, and with this award and knowing that other people see how passionate I am about it, it just makes me want to do more.
LEF celebrates the teachers with a formal ceremony. They're also treated to brunch or dinner and an outing to some of New Orleans' finest museums. The financial rewards for teachers with perfect attendance and other classroom accomplishments are funded in part thanks to a generous endowment established by a donor with a personal stake in seeing teachers succeed.
The foundation has been a good source of seeing what's happening in the parish and see the good things that are being done in the parish, and to see how some of the programs that I didn't know existed. The endowment was done because I'm a school teacher for 10 years, and I thought that we needed to reward the outstanding teachers.
Teachers are vital, but there are others without whom the system simply could not function. To foster the development of these men and women, LEF funds leadership academies for administrators or educators who want to move into administration.
We need to make sure that we have administrators out there that are trained in new techniques, such as assessment, benchmarking strategies, working with diverse students in our community. And they have been very productive, and we look forward to the additional support that they will provide to individuals that are working in that capacity. It has a tremendous impact on the educational community. As you know, education is the lifeblood of any community. To draw in people to come and work and stay in our community, we need to have a great educational system.
Finally, each year the foundation holds a gala that allows donors to mingle and the foundation to express its appreciation.
It is our major fundraiser event for the year, and it helps us, one, to thank our major fundraisers and to give them the recognition they deserve for the investments they're making in public education. And secondly, it's an opportunity for us to show this is what we're doing, these are the investments we're making in public education. Come and help us.
The Lafourche Education Foundation has been active for several successful years, having distributed tens of thousands of dollars in grants and awards. But there are still bigger dreams for growth and goals to expand what it can accomplish. The importance of this kind of support for something as vital as the educational system and the children it serves simply can't be overstated. It's the reason the Lafourche Education Foundation exists.
They are using their money very wisely because they have truly made an impact on every single teacher. Whether they get Teacher of the Year or not, it is the one organization that sees the good in teachers, and I really do appreciate it. I think every teacher does.
And we have to constantly just keep revising what we do, and without the funding that's available or that we need, it's going to limit what we can do. So any and every bit of money that could be donated to a foundation like this is really investing in our future.
I would say that the Lafourche Education Foundation works diligently to accomplish their purpose, and that is to support the Lafourche Parish schools, the teachers, because ultimately that increases the ability or the avenue where people would want to come into Lafourche Parish to work here, which also helps business owners.
I think that the LEF does a great job with the money, and I think that people need to donate, small or large, because the money is well used.
If you are thinking about giving money, please do. You know, new teachers need all the help they can get. You know, if it's readily available, you know, that's even better. So please give. You know, I'm speaking for future teachers who need that help. Continue to give.
When the community supports LEF, LEF supports the schools, and the schools support the community with prepared, well-educated graduates. It's circular. Some might say that a circle has no beginning or end, but in this case, the circle begins with the people who give to the Lafourche Education Foundation. Thank you for your support.